Hi, everybody. Today we are talking about the attention economy and big data. And you may have noticed this, but digital content is created to keep us hooked. They want us to spend as much time on their website, their page, using their product, or playing their video game as long as possible. Notifications are meant to draw our attention right back into the app that we just closed. And this is what is meant by living in today's attention economy. It means that our personal information is commodified. Data has surpassed oil as the most widely sought after and valuable asset on Earth today. And every app that we click on and accept, right? We accept those conditions. It allows companies to collect and distribute our data. And advanced analytics and artificial intelligence all means that they are collecting data to learn about our behavior and our wants. And this keeps us hooked. For us, this means endless scrolling and addictive content. We read articles that reinforce our beliefs, and it makes us want to read even more. We see items that we want to purchase based on our last purchase and the data that we gave them. Have you ever had a conversation where you might be talking about new cars and then all of a sudden you see car ads in your news feeds? We don't just watch TV anymore. We binge watch Netflix, right? So just as an interesting fact, binge watching didn't even become a thing until autoplay was created on Netflix. So listen, there's no coincidence that there is a personalization of research results based on our location and our search history. Tech is meant to keep us hooked, right? Tech wants to keep us hooked. And so we need to be able to pause and reflect on our usage and be able to take our power back by giving intention to our attention. That was a really long introduction to that slide. This diagram, this graph, if you will, is called a minute on the internet in 2021, and it's just an estimated amount of data that is created on the internet in 1 minute. And you can pause this right now to take in those numbers, but it is so hard to comprehend just how much information we are absorbing every single day when we go online. We are talking about the fact that there are 500 million tweets a day, 200 trillion tweets per year. YouTube has 500 hours of video uploaded every single minute, right? And when you add on TikTok and Snapchat and Pinterest and Discord and Reddit and blogs and everything else we consume in a day, including your educational content, we're confronted with a staggering amount of data and information. The concept of the attention economy was first coined in 1960s by a man named Herbert Simon. And that same individual also noted at that time that, and he was quoted, a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention, suggesting that multitasking is a myth. And he was certainly right. But it was Tristan Harris who popularized the term attention economy in his Netflix documentary that came out in the fall of 2020. Perhaps many of you have seen it. But Tristan is a former Google ethicist, and he explained that phones operate like slot machines. because they offer something called variable rewards. And variable rewards are highly addictive, right? They hijack our attention and increase our desire to stay on and repeat and repeat and repeat doing what we are doing. So that could be gaming, it could be refreshing a news feed, compulsively checking, our likes or our followers, things like that. And so in the documentary, he warned about the rise of the attention economy, right? Which he described to be an internet that was shaped around advertising, right? In order to maximize page views and effectively turning our attention into a commodity that is to be bought and sold, right? So he also talked about the fact that the lack of self-control that we have to fend off technology is problematic, right? Because unfortunately, there are very, very sophisticated principles at play when technology is made to prey on our individual, needs and desires. And it is very psychological. Tristan is also the co-founder of the Center for Humane Technology, and it's a California-based nonprofit, and I urge you to check out their website. They have lots of great information there on this particular topic. And so when we talk about what is the attention economy, we are referring to the economic and social framework in which attention is created as a valuable and limited resource, where attention is treated as a valuable resource in the digital age. And so it involves the competition for capturing it and for maintaining human attention in order to gain value, whether that is money, influence, impact, whatever the case may be. And so if information, where information is abundant, and people are constantly trying to find ways to grasp people's attention, then the attention economy really becomes about competition, right? For retaining individuals' attention in a massive sea of content, which we saw in the Internet in a Minute slide. So this is really problematic, right? Because for us as individuals, it leads to information overload, it leads to shorter attention spans, it leads to multitasking behaviors, and has the potential to have really negative effects on our mental well-being due to the demand for constant attention. And so several key aspects define the attention economy. First of all, we have abundance of information, which we just talked about. We have attention as a scarce resource, right? And unlike physical resources like money or goods, attention is finite, right? We have a limited time and cognitive capacity to engage with content, right? It is not infinite. Which means that gaining attention requires strategies, right? Sustaining attention requires strategies. And you know what? Let's talk about this for a minute. And I'm going to come back to this chart. But I want to talk about a woman named Dr. Gloria Marks. She's a professor out of the University of California at Irvine. And she has been studying attention spans for the last 2 decades. And her results are very clear. Our attention spans are shrinking. And back in 2004, when she did her first study, or published her first study, when she studied individuals, she looked at how long it took them to switch between online and offline activities. So for instance, they would literally go into offices, her research associates, they would go into offices and they would be tracking with timers how long people were on screens and then how long they would focus before they shifted their attention somewhere else. And so back in 2004, our attention spans were 2.5 minutes. And today, in this study, was recently replicated, and she just published her results in early 2023 and found that people are switching attention now between online and offline activities every 45 seconds. So our attention spans have dropped dramatically. Not just because of technology, we also like to self-interrupt. So it's not always just external to the individual. But definitely we know that technology, and part of this is coming from the attention economy, reasons why we have shorter attention spans than we did before. So that is problematic in many ways. Now, going back to our chart, let's talk about the monetization of attention. Businesses and content creators recognize that capturing and holding people's attention can translate into value, right? It's advertising revenue, it's subscriptions, it's brand loyalty, it's data collection, right? So social media platforms, online news outlets, and other platforms will often monetize users' attention through advertisements and, premium services and things like that. Another key aspect of the attention economy is competition for engagement. And this competition drives, it drives innovation and content creation and marketing strategies, but also to attract and maintain audience engagement. We have persuasive techniques, right? And we're going to talk about this in a separate lecture, but to succeed in the attention economy, businesses have to have techniques that are designed, right, or employed to grab users' attention. And sometimes the way that they do so is unethical, right? Which is what Tristan Harris argues. When we are using things like sensationalism or clickbait, these techniques aim to trigger emotional responses, such as a sense of urgency. For instance, clickbait is a really good example of that, right? Clickbait is content whose main purpose is to attract attention or to encourage visitors to click on a particular web page. Well, those are considered persuasive technologies or persuasive techniques, right? Ways to grab people's attention. Impacts on society, right? The attention economy can obviously influence people's behavior. It shapes public discourse, like how and what we discuss online. And, it's all about how individuals allocate their time and their cognitive resources, right? And as I mentioned before, this is leading to shorter attention spans and potential negative effects on mental well-being. Last of all, another key aspect of the attention economy is how digital platforms will use algorithms to curate content based on personal preferences. And so this personalization, it seeks to enhance user engagement by showing them content that aligns with their interests, right? And so this increases the amount of time that you spend on the platform because you're seeing things that you already like or enjoy. And so, this certainly brings up some ethical considerations, right? Questions about privacy, questions about how we are, in a sense, manipulated, right? In the way that they are using these psychological principles in order to, to make us more addicted to the content that we are seeing and spending more time online. All of this for the sake of money, and advertising revenue and things like that. So these are all things that we really want to keep in mind when we are talking about the attention economy. So as I said, there are many ethical considerations, and it just kind of gives you some food for thought, if you will. Like, to what extent should content creators or the platforms, be able to use psychological techniques to capture and hold attention, you know? And questions of respecting autonomy, like I said, and privacy and people's well-being. It just kind of, these are things that, we might want to think about. Even the difference between long-term and short-term impact. How does the pursuit of short-term attention affect the quality and the depth of content being produced, right? Does the attention economy discourage the creation of complex and nuanced content in favor of easily digestible, attention-grabbing material, right? So these are just some things to think about, some ethical considerations that we can kind of just think about. And data, big data, includes technologies like machine learning, and these are also advanced statistical methods that uncover insights that help lead to ways that okay, I'm going to stop that there, and I am going to start this slide over again. And so big data refers to large data sets that are used to analyze patterns and trends and associations that are related to our actions online. Okay, so things like machine learning, advanced statistical methods that uncover, insights that lead to better decision making, that kind of thing. That is what we were talking about when we were talking about big data. It really does just enable organizations to uncover the patterns and trends that lead to improved processes from their end. And so how does this interact with the attention economy? What is the interplay? Well, in the attention economy, platforms obviously use big data to create and tailor content that is aimed at individuals, to their preferences and to their behaviors. And they do this in a number of different ways, like user profiling, personalized content, right? Anything that aligns with users' interests will maximize engagement and maximize their attention. Data-driven marketing, organizations leverage big data to optimize marketing strategies and target specific demographics with attention-grabbing content. When it comes to ethical designs, I encourage college students to explore how the attention economy aligns with ethical considerations, right? How do we ensure that personalization doesn't cross over into manipulation? And then, of course, we should also consider the impact of the attention economy on our mental well-being and explore how big data analytics can help design platforms that balance engagement with digital well-being. And that's exactly what they are doing at alltechishuman.org.